G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Yes, I got a little bit emotional after this game. You can probably see a bit watery eyes here. And I don't know what to say. This was just a beautiful game of rugby. This was an awesome game of rugby. Great scrummaging, great attacking rugby. And man, just absolute heart, grit, determination from the Reds to put the top New Zealand side to bed, 29 points to 19. It's been a very, very long time have I seen an Australian team playing this tough against the New Zealand rugby. There has always been a massive mental barrier for the Australian teams that, hey, if you could just squeeze out a penalty, let's squeeze out a win with 3 points. And that's how we're going to beat New Zealand teams. And it never worked. And finally, I feel like, at least for the Reds, has turned a corner. The new coach, Les Kiss, has instilled a new direction for the Reds. We saw it in the first 2 rounds now, that the Reds didn't go for goals. The number one priority is to go for the line out, is go for the try. No kicking for 3 points. Although they did take 3 points in this game, which I don't fault them when the game is so tight. I mean, nobody was going to decide to take, to go for the tries in those situations. It was just, like, really, the squeeze, the pressure was so immense. I don't blame the players to go for the 2 conversions they kicked this game. But that direction, that mentality of, we can only beat New Zealand teams by kicking 3 points is finally out of the system. And the Reds proved that today, that the Australian rugby has the physical prowess and just needed that little bit of extra mental push to get over the barrier. And I think they finally done so tonight. And I'm very, very happy. Like I said, I was a little bit emotional after the game. And it's been a long time for me to see something this good out of the Australian rugby. And it's kind of a little bit of light at the end of the dark tunnel for me to see a slight change of direction for the future of Australian rugby. I know the Reds beat the Chiefs last year. I felt like the win last year was not nearly as impressive as, the Reds went into the game wanting to win by 3 points, and the Chiefs walked into the game also wanting to just squeeze out a win, and it ended up being just like Reds was able to kind of just get that bounce of the ball essentially to win that match over the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs really played into the wrong strategy. And again, this game as well, ironically, it was the Chiefs that wanted to take the easy win with 3 points, and they were punished for it. And I was so happy to see that the Reds was, stuck to their guns and put the pressure on, whilst the Chiefs was the team that was happy to take 3 points. Right at the end of the game, the Chiefs was chasing, and this is what happens when you're taking, 60 minutes of the game just kicking 3 points, and finally in the last 20 minutes trying to chase down by scoring tries. You haven't been doing that the whole game. You just a little bit, you're not gonna, if you couldn't do it for 60 minutes, putting yourself under the pressure to try to score for the last 20 minutes, it's something that's, it becomes more and more difficult for a team, mentally and physically. And that really showed against the Chiefs. There were so many times it looked like the Chiefs could have scored if the ball had just gone to hands. If the kick had just been a little bit more, controlled. If they just held on to the ball a little bit instead of rushing that pass, it could have gone in for a try and beat the Reds, right? And the Chiefs was not able to find that patience, whilst the Reds just defended with guts. They were just hanging in there, on the ropes. Finally, in the last minute of the game, the Reds defended 23 phases to finally shut down Damien McKenzie, out of all people, rushing up defense on him and then turning the ball over to win the match for the Queenslanders. And that was a really, really amazing game of rugby. The one thing that I was super happy about to see as well is the fans cheering for the Reds scrum. It was absolute titanic performance from the Reds props. Ravi coming off the bench, just the finishes, kind of like, taking that playbook out of the Springboks, having your better scrummages, your big finishes coming off the bench, and just really making that impact in the second half. So many times the Reds were saved by the scrums, just like, the Chiefs were just camping the Reds inside their own 22, and the Reds gets a scrum penalty, turning the tides, getting themselves out of trouble, and also the returning of an ex-player, what's his name? Umunga Allen was extremely good off the bench as well for the Reds. Just doing that, just really setting that platform with the scrummaging. Just really amazing rugby that was played on the field today. Ben O'Keefe with the awesome referee as well. I thought really clear. Didn't just let the scrum rules out the window. Let the scrum played out. He paused the clock to stop, time wasting. And that was really, really good for Ben O'Keefe. Managed that quite well and given the chance for both teams to contest that very, very crucial aspect of the game and very, intense aspect of the game. Like I said, every time there was a scrum, the fans were cheering, and it was really good to see that, people are not just like snoozing during the scrums, and everybody was really, really into it, and that was massive, massive plus to the game. The one thing, I'm not sure what was happening. I think, was D-Mac injured? D-Mac looked a little bit hurt this game. He was completely out of it, and he was moved to fullback as well. I'm not sure, and very early in the game, it was moved to fullback. I'm not sure if he's carrying some kind of injury or if he got hurt. He looked slow getting up a number of times following some tackles, and he was just really look out of it. He wasn't, that all the kicking game and stuff. He wasn't really doing much of that, and just that dynamism that he brings with his footwork. We didn't see any of that this week. So yeah, let me know if D-Mac is actually injured, carrying an injury or something, or did he get hurt some point in the game? Because that was a really, really poor performance by Damian McKenzie. Really uncharacteristic. They had Josh Ioane at 10 very early in the game. Pretty sure he wasn't starting at 10, was he? Yeah, D-Mac was at 10. So I had Josh Ioane move to 10 and had D-Mac move to 15. I think maybe D-Mac got hurt from a tackle or from a shot. And speaking of big tackles, we've got to talk about this. The late shot, so what's his name? Finau put on a late shot on Lynagh. That was brutal. That was actually really brutal to watch. It was like watching an adult hitting a child, to be honest. It was really, really, really brutal. And I think this should have been a yellow card and potentially going on report, because I know Samu Kerevi did this against the Springboks, where he tucked his arm in and then kind of had like a swinging one arm and then the other arm just completely not making an attempt to wrap. I think this should be a shoulder charge. Consider that this should not be considered a wrap. Samu Kerevi did this. I thought that was borderline illegal as well. I didn't think that was a right move, right call against this. I think it was against Makazula Mapimpi when he did that. But I think this should definitely be looked at, should be cited after the game. It was very late, and the one thing here is that you have to consider, it's not just like, okay, let's say this is a legal tackle, right? Let's say this is a legal tackle. This arm is considered right, which I don't think it should be considered right. Let's say it does. He puts a shoulder in like this on a player. The intention here is not to make a tackle. The intention here is to hurt a player, to injure a player. And with that intention, should be a yellow card. It doesn't matter if you made a legal tackle. If your intention is to hurt somebody, it should be a yellow card at least. And it's late as well, very, very late. And just because you made a legal tackle, still should not be excused for a yellow card for having the intention to hurt somebody. Like, that is really, really disgraceful from Finau. And it's just really, I think they should really have a look at this, because it's almost like, the difference is it's like, if somebody's driving a car, they get in an accident, and somebody driving a car intentionally ramming it into somebody. Okay, that's two completely different things. An accident and somebody with the intention to hurt somebody else ramming the car into somebody else's car. This is basically like someone with an intention to hurt someone by ramming the car into another vehicle. It's completely different from just an accident that occurs on the street. So I really think that they need to have a look at this, and you can let me know your thoughts. But yeah, I mean, and also I really don't think this tackle is legal at all. And I don't think, the one Samu Kerevi did on Mapimpi was legal, I think a couple years ago now in the first place. So they need to have a look at this, and you can let me know your thoughts on this matter. Let's have a look at the match stats. Queensland Reds, 363 run meters to 486 to the Chiefs. 17 turnovers conceded by the Reds, 14 against the Chiefs. Tackle count, 165 for the Reds, 134 for the Chiefs. 19 missed tackles, which is really, really good. Tackle completion rate for the Reds, 20 missed tackles for the Chiefs. Still not bad themselves. Under 20%, always not too bad. But the Reds is really just getting close to that 10% mark. It's really, really excellent. Kicking game, 28 apiece. There were a number of kicks that was charged down by the Chiefs against the Reds. Vunivalu is the one that really pops into mind where, again, he really shouldn't be kicking, but he was put in a position to kick, and then I think that led into a try. That led into a try a few phases later against the Reds, which I'm not sure what's going on there, why they constantly setting him up in the position to kick, to do the clearance kicks when he's really not up for it, not experienced enough for it. And so that was a thing that really hurt the Reds a little bit. Conversions as well, 2 missed conversions for the Chiefs, 1 from Lynagh, and that probably didn't help the Chiefs too much either. Damian McKenzie, I mean, he really looked a bit off as well. You know, when it comes to the goal kicks, he does the smile, the world-famous grin from Damian McKenzie. Didn't do that at all this game. Just head down, kick the ball over. I'm not sure what's happening there with D-Mac. The lineouts, 1 lineouts lost on each side, 15 lineouts for the Reds, 8 for the Chiefs. Scrum, 6 scrums each, but the Reds had a scrum penalty from their own feeds in the second half numerous times. Really, really impressive. Discipline, so good for the Reds. I mean, how many times I've seen the Wallaby players come out and say, we're going to work on our discipline, man. Got to work on our discipline. It's the discipline that hurt us. And then only to go to the next game and consider another 20 penalties. Finally, to see an Australian team, getting that out of the system, 5 penalties, especially that last phase of play, 23 phases. There was a penalty advantage early on, but it has 23 phases later, it expired, and the Reds held their discipline, did not give away another penalty, and it was just really, really, really good effort to not just let it up another penalty and then allow the Chiefs to get a free roll on the dice to try to score a try, and really, really well to defend that. Chiefs considered 10 penalties. I reckon there was probably about 2 or 3 scrum penalties out of 10. So overall, if you take that out of the account, the overall Chiefs discipline is actually pretty good as well. So let's have a look at some of the game recap. The game was actually really back and forth a little bit at the beginning. 10 minutes into the game, Vunivalu got penalized for putting his hands on the ground before jackling the ball. And the Chiefs went for the line out. They went for the maul. And it looked like they scored. The replay showed that one of the phases where the player kind of released the ball back, and the ball was knocked forward with the Chiefs player's knee into a Chiefs player on the ground, which was accidental offside. So it got the Reds out of jail on that one. But yeah, it looked like the Chiefs scored 10 minutes into the game, so they did not get that. But immediately after this try was scored, Chiefs was once again on the front foot, getting penalty advantages. They go for the line out once again. They go for the try, and this time they got really close. They crash ball, and then they had the big boy, Supersonic Taukiaho, crash down center field, drawing it in like 3 defenders. And then the quick ball went out to Josh Ioane. Bit of a step, bit of a wiggle, went through for the first try for the Chiefs. This was not a difficult kick. Damian McKenzie missed this one. 5 points to nil for the Chiefs. The Reds fights back 60 minutes into the game. There was a penalty. They go for the penalty for the 5-meter line out and just pressure the drive. Just a really nice rolling maul. A lot of Chiefs players overcommitted, just split off a little Reds side of the scrum. Ruthlessly efficiency was described by the commentary. 5 points apiece for the Reds. Also, Lynagh misses this one, so the conversion was unsuccessful. 22 minutes into the game. Some really good hits from the Reds. They got the ball back from a lot of pressure. They just spread the ball down the sideline. Suliasi Vunivalu got a little bit of a cut-out pass to the side. He ran down the sideline, threw the ball back infield to Harry Wilson, who was in support, and then Harry Wilson, another inside ball to Fraser McRae under the sticks for the Reds. A nice setup try, 12 points to 15, ticks himself ahead. 26 minutes into the game, the Chiefs gets a penalty. One of the Reds players overextended, taking out the halfback before he got the ball right in front of the goalpost. And here is where I wrote, is the Chiefs going to go the soft option? Sure enough, they went for the soft option. They went for the 3 points. And I wrote, maybe this is the game that the Chiefs are going to lose. And sure enough, they did get the 3, but they eventually wasn't quite enough to win the game. 12 points to 8, the Chiefs gets themselves back 3 points, still 5 points behind. 4 points behind at this point. The 32 minutes of the game, Reds has another chance to go for a penalty right in front of the goalpost. They go for the line out. It didn't work for them, but again, I just really commend the Reds for the effort to go for those line outs. 38 minutes into the game, the Chiefs gets another penalty right in front of the goalpost. It looked like there was a head clash between the Reds starting prop, but the referee didn't look at it. I thought that could have been a yellow card with the head-on-head collision. Both players did look like they were dipping, but still should have been a yellow. But no yellow cards there. And then the Chiefs decided to take a 3 points right in front of the goalpost. Again, I wrote here, the D-Mac looked very not smiling at all, just all business, kicked the ball over. 12 points to 11, Chiefs still behind by 1. Just on the dot of halftime, the Reds, from the kickoff, the Fraser McWright gets into the breakdown and then steals the ball out of the breakdown right in front of the Chiefs goalpost. And then the Reds just piling on pressure into the Chiefs 22 and then gets a penalty right in front of the goalpost. One of the Chiefs players was caught not rolling away. And sure enough, on the dot of halftime, 3 points. It's 3 points. You can't reject that. I mean, as much as I like to think that the Reds should win for the line out, but in this situation, really no point, exerting more energy for potentially nothing. So, and especially they tried earlier in the game to no clear advantage when it comes to those rolling mauls. So the Reds went for the 3 points here. 50 points, 11 halftime score. Second half starts, 44 minutes. Like I said, late shot in liner. He looked very hurt, stayed on the field for 3 more minutes, and then was taken off. The 46 minutes into the game, Suliasa Vinivalu, again, got the ball inside zone 22, tried to do a clearance kick, got charged down, and then the Chiefs just piled in pressure, recover the ball, and then quick ball. There was a nice little offload from, who was it? I think Ioane. Eventually, the ball goes out to Sean Stevenson, and he ran into the corner for a try. Suddenly the Chiefs are ahead, 16 points to 15. A few minutes later, Reds give away another penalty, not rolling away. The referee has been warning the Reds throughout the game that, hey, if your player don't roll away after making a tackle, just being lazy on the wrong side of the ruck, I'm going to penalize you. And this happened. And again, here, I thought the Chiefs should have gone for the try. Chiefs was happy to take the 3, and I think that's the downfall for the Chiefs. 15 points, 19 for the Chiefs. And then the 52 minutes into the game, Fraser McWright wins a breakdown penalty for the Reds. And again, this is so difficult to make. I really thought, I was like, is the Reds really going to go for the line out again under such high pressure? Nah, finally the Reds we're going to take the soft option. To my dismay, but still, in a game like this, you tried. And the main thing is that I think the Reds tried. They built pressure early on. And I think they probably deserved to take 3 points here after so much pressure that applied and got no points as a result. So they go for the 3, 18 points to 19, still 1 point behind. Finally, 56 minutes into the game, the Reds was just a bit of a stalemate. Little kick behind from the new player on the field, I think it was. And there was just you can tell the urgency from the Reds team to chase this ball down. There was 5 Reds players swarming over the ball there was 2 Chiefs players at fullback covering this little kick behind, and then the ball bounced for the Reds team as well. And I think it was named Greeley. What was his name? Yeah, Mac Greeley got the ball and then just threw a offload to Josh Fluke, and Fluke gets another try for himself. Reds ticks ahead 25 points to 19 with literally 25 minutes left. And boy, the Chiefs were just pounding for the last 25 minutes. Anton Leonard-Brown got really close to scoring a number of times, coming off the bench with fresh legs. As the finisher for the Chiefs team, really putting in a lot of effort. You can starting to see that D-Mac is something's wrong with D-Mac at this point. He's when he gets the ball in the fullback position, he's just really slow and then just pretty much just passing the ball away, not really kicking it away or not really running it himself. The Reds was under the pump so many times in the last 25 minutes, and then was saved again and again and again because the Chiefs suffered a bit of a knock on, and then saved again and again by the Reds, dominant scrummaging, getting those penalties, and then just exit with a penalty kick. And it was really, 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 really good for the Reds. Really dominant scrum, and really, really happy. Put a massive smile on my face in this last 20 minutes or so, and then all the way till Till this game, yeah, the Reds were under the pump all the way till right at the end of the game. You know, last 2 minutes, 23 phases by the Chiefs, build right in front of the Reds try line, and then finally D-Mac was getting the ball. Had a few players rushing up on him. Like I said, it looked like he was hurt. Probably should have taken off the field. And the Reds shut him down, get the turnover, isolated him, and yeah, huge win for Reds, huge win for Australian rugby, and really, I was really happy to watch that game. So let me know your thoughts. In terms of performance for the Reds, I think this was probably a 9 out of 10 for the Reds. The Chiefs was pretty good themselves. 7.5 for the Chiefs is my score for their team. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your scoring for both teams. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later tonight or tomorrow morning for the Six Nations. Cheers.